Thank you for tuning in to Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. I am music producer Achickwitbeatz.
And I'm entrepreneur Breezy Gipson.
And we're glad that you've joined us again. We've got another show just filled with music industry news and beats by yours truly. I mean, it's been a lot happening. It's actually been kind of hard to decide which ones to share. It's just so much going on. But yeah, we're going to share that goodness for you to kind of help you navigate your own career path in music.
Yeah, music industry news, that's a never-ending book of life. So zero in.
Yes, so make sure that you keep it locked. Grab your notepad, take notes, whatever you got to do to make sure that you're prepared. And without any further ado, let's give them the show.
Okay, sounds good.
back with music industry news. S'mores is a music discovery app that has a TikTok-like feed. So basically, it's a free iOS app that connects to your Spotify account, and it lets users listen to a short clip of a song based on their listening history. And then they can just kind of scroll through the vertical feed. So if you're not feeling it, you can just kind of bypass it. And if you enjoy a song clip, you can kind of tap on it for the like button, and it'll add it to your playlist in Spotify. So basically, when you get the app, they have a S'mores discovery playlist that kind of pops up there. And then from that point, you can take it from that and add it to any other playlist that you want to. But basically, they've tried to do something a little bit different with this, because S'mores has built-in controls that lets users kind of change their recommendation feed based on how they're feeling, and their other micro genres that they listen to. So it's supposed to be more specialized and kind of a solution to the algorithm, basically just feeding you the same thing, making it a little more difficult for you to discover new stuff. So this is an add-in that is made to kind of address that and alleviate some of those headaches. And hopefully it should be rolling out to Android soon too. But just some goodness there to try. Once again, that's S'mores, spelled like the delicious treat. So if you check it out, let us know what you think.
Hey, these names, man. Hey, we need a bag of names that we can pull out like that.
Yeah. All right. Sundance, the documentary Little Richard, I Am Everything is going to Magnolia. So we originally shared this with you that this was going on way back in 2020. And so now, it's started to get a little steam. So Magnolia Pictures has taken over the global rights. And this was following the premiere as its opening night selection on Sundance. So, it did pretty well. People are enjoying it. The film tells the story of the Black queer origins of rock and roll, exploding the whitewashed canon of American pop music to kind of reveal Little Richard as the innovator that he actually was. So, I can't wait to check this out whenever it's available. How about you?
Oh no, I can't wait too. So, it's truly going to be interesting.
Yes, absolutely. So I feel like this is going to be one of those that we'll be talking about a little bit later, about the success and who knows, maybe even some award wins.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, this little tidbit is just some very interesting information to have and kind of know what's going on in the music world. So in case you haven't heard, streaming fraud accounts for at least 1% to 3% of plays on streaming services like Spotify and Deezer in France, specifically, according to a new investigation from the Centre National des Musiques study. So basically, with this showing this, if 1% to 3% of the streams in the country are fraudulent, basically when people pay for click farms or whatever to kind of generate money from these streams, it takes royalty money away from legitimate artists when people are actually listening to their songs. Because if you recall, we've shared with you before that they use the pro rata method. So basically they take all the money from the pool and then it goes to whoever has generated X amount percent of the streams. That's what you get. And so with these like farms doing this and streaming music, it's less money for us who are actually putting out stuff, the real artists out there. So, this was specifically for France, but if you look at it, you can kind of expand it. So, okay, it's a lot to unpack here. So basically, if the French music market, which in 2021 it generated $581.5 million in streaming revenue. 1% of that is $5.8 million, and 3% of that is $17.4 million. So if we're just looking at France, that's already a lot of money that's lost just because of people gaming the system. That's just France. Again, if you apply these figures globally, like through the whole worldwide trade revenue of music streaming, it's 16.9 billion. That's what it was in 2021. 1% of that would be 169 million, and 3% of that would be $507 million. That's over $500 million that's lost to real artists because someone's, cheating. And, these are just kind of like general figures. Of course, we're extrapolating what already happened and comparing it against, what the changes that have occurred since then. But one thing to note is that the main thing, the study basically just found out who got caught trying to do fraudulent streams. This doesn't count those that might be flying under the radar. And it also doesn't include Amazon Music, YouTube, or Apple Music because they all declined to participate. So we have no idea exactly how far reaching this really is. But even if you just look at those figures that I mentioned earlier, that's a lot of money. So, it's some weird stuff going on, and kind of makes you think. Sometimes you hear these new songs that they say are popular, and you go to tap play, and then you're like, why is this so popular? This is garbage. That's part of the reason why. So yeah, there's a lot of streaming fraud. People used to say numbers don't lie. Guess what? They can, and they do.
This is, will it ever stop? No. Do I wish somebody could come up with a system to put a block on? Yes. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, there's nefarious people out there all over the place, okay, who are just seeking to piggyback off of somebody else's work. They should. I mean, it seems like there should be, when these opportunities or these types of businesses are created, it seems like there should be some blocks that could be established when the business is created to keep all this from happening. I mean,
yeah.
Wow.
I agree wholeheartedly. There should definitely be, some kind of stopgap because, who could you imagine having some of these dollar amounts that I named? But that's how much is being stolen. So yeah, it's really, really crazy. But with that being said, if you're an artist who's potentially used some of these farms, it's not really a good idea to do that. So yeah, anybody who's actually using this to kind of fake your streams, if the numbers aren't real, what does it really mean? So, what if you actually get, well, I mean, money, of course, but, if you don't really have the fans, then, it's all smoke and mirrors. So just something.
Well, in addition, the three companies that you named that refused to participate in the activity of divulging info. Now that shouldn't even be happening right there.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on. You're in that business, but you're saying, oh, well, no, we're not going to go any further with divulging our info. No.
Yeah, that's a really good point because YouTube, what's his name? Leor Cohen, however you pronounce it. He has been very vocal about trying to make sure that things are transparent for the artists to see. So yeah, it is kind of surprising that they decline to participate in the study. If you're touting how transparent things are, it seems like you wouldn't mind sharing that info. So yeah, you got a great point there. And go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, that raises huge question marks because that's like, I can't put words in their mouths, of course. Okay, it's just a thought. But that's saying they know they're in the game, but they're the game of participating in the streaming, but they won't participate in trying to prevent losses. Yeah, we'll be in there. We got this business. We're in there, but no, we're not going to do anything. We're not even going to. No, we're not. As far as trying to prevent any losses to anyone, no, we're not going.
Yeah. So you didn't put words in their mouth. You translated what they said. That's what that was. Because that's exactly what that means. If you actually care about the community that you claim to care about, then you would participate. So yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head. You broke it down and made it plain, so everybody can see, yeah, what's happening here. But I mean, it's just, then to top that off, this wouldn't be as much of an issue if they got rid of the pro rata streams and actually just did an artist centric model, which is what, everybody's been asking for so long. But you should get paid when people listen to your music. It shouldn't be divvied up in the pot. So if they actually just corrected the way things are being done, then it'd be much less of an issue for the rest of us. So yeah, we could talk about this whole streaming payment system. That's a whole episode in itself.
Yeah, I mean, you want to go through a positive business flow, but it's like the nefarious folks out there, they're lurking, they're watching, they're listening, trying to figure out a way to beat the system.
Yeah. Yeah, and to think of the intelligence that has to take in order to accomplish something like that. You just wish that they could use those powers for good, like eliminating student loan debt or something like that, Yeah, if you're going to be shady, at least help people out. All right. And artists say that the music industry without the BBC introducing would be just devoid of soul. So there's been proposed cuts that mean that BBC introducing shows all across the UK might either be merged or just scrapped by the broadcaster. So local BBC introducing shows support new and emerging talent by accepting their submissions from regional areas, then reviewing the songs for radio play, which kind of puts them into the bigger machine, so that way they can be on the BBC national radio. So it was a good deal that they've got going so far, and hopefully they can manage to save some of them without scrapping all of it. But, just fingers crossed they can get this together, because that would be a huge loss for the UK music industry for independent artists.
And the beat goes on and on and on. I mean, hey man, there's some positive news in there though, isn't there?
Oh yeah, coming up, sorta, just not right away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, not to take away from the stories thus far, it's just that, hey, there's the not so good, then there's the good. Okay,
yeah.
So, but all of it is impactful. So
yeah.
So keep your ears open and your eyes open.
Mm-hmm. And with some of this not so good news, it's helpful to kind of have a heads up on it. So that way you can be aware, because who knows, you listening right now might be the person to come up with the solution for it. So, yeah. All right. Yeah, this one's probably not that good for some people either. But Amazon Music has raised their standard monthly subscription price from $9.99 to $10.99. So this is shortly behind, as we shared, Apple Music had also done the price increase last quarter. And so Amazon Music's doing the same thing. As far as we know, Spotify is still kind of hanging on there, but there's no way. I really don't see them not upping the price at some point, especially at the rate that they're bleeding money right now. They actually need it. But, I could see the point of them trying to stay competitive with so many streaming services out there. So, of course, the price is increasing in other areas as well. Let's see, Germany, and then the student plan. And, we'll keep you posted as this kind of rolls out. But it was very much expected for them to do this. And, yeah, we're just waiting to see when Spotify is going to make their move.
Yeah, well, on a positive tip though, for the lower man, the man down on the street, the woman down on the street in the recording studio, and grinding with their creativity and so on and so forth, that just goes to show, if some of the large ones can charge more, then you can too. Okay, so it's not that you have to be just left out, solidified on a certain level of charges or a level of income that you're looking for. Up the ante. Okay, so I mean, if they can do it, they're the big man. and you can do it if you're the small person, and you got just as much an opportunity and just as much a chance. So hey, if your music is what's funding your livelihood, your family, your bills, and all this kind of stuff, charge more.
You
Charge
know
more.
what? Yeah, that's an excellent takeaway because, matter of fact, I believe 2022 was the first year that I didn't do Black Friday discounts, simply because the economy is something serious right now, and I actually couldn't afford to give discounts because, as you stated, with that being my livelihood, and things still went pretty well. I was always afraid of what would happen if I had foregone that. But hey, if you've got the good product, people will still come to you. They'll pay for it. So yeah, just
Right.
like Breezy said, you can go ahead, get paid. You need it to be able to sustain what you're doing. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Right, because the power company is not going to give you a discount.
Right.
The power company's not. Every time you turn around, they're petitioning their governing boards to increase the charges, or the water, the gas, or whatever. So hey, the food, the the transportation. So it's just an unfortunate but much needed thought. You got to do what you got to do. So hey, you're as the indie artist, you're worth it. The indie artist has got the indie artist has got a talent that other people don't have. And you as musicians, you've been working on those talents, your talents, for a long time, refining, sharpening, buying new equipment, and so on and so forth, researching, attending conferences, and to do the things that build up your own music business. So charge more.
Yes. Excellent takeaway. And with that, we can take our quick pause for the cause and come back with even more music industry news and tips.
Breezy Gipson from the Breeze team. How would you like to see an online platform that brings you people who've already indicated that they're interested in your particular type of business? Whether it's your music you're selling, hip-hop clothing, you got a restaurant or cafe, or if you're an entrepreneur or agent for a business. Visit me at breeze2cheese.com. That's using the number 2, breeze2cheese.com, or click my bio link on my Instagram profile to see a live demo of how this can help you get more customers and make more money.
Hey, this is Achickwitbeatz. I am a multi-genre music producer and strategist to indie artists and labels. Visit my website, achickwitbeatz.com, for resources for artists and instrumentals available in various genres for songs, vlogs, blogs, podcasts, themes, TV, film, commercials, and more. Once again, that's achickwitbeatz.com, ACHICKWITBEATZ. Let's make something happen. All right, we're back with more music industry news. Just in case you haven't heard, but you've probably seen it because it's been everywhere, but it's officially a done deal that Bieber sold his catalog to Hypnosis, Blackstone Fund. So now Hypnosis Songs Capital acquired 100% interest in his publishing copyrights, including the writer's share of performance, his master recordings, neighboring rights for his entire back catalog that includes over 290 titles that were all released before December 31st of 2021. So yeah, we told you when this was in the works and now it's official. That is a lot of stuff to kind of hand over, but it's at a certain point, it usually makes sense for artists to do it, especially as they age. However, he's still pretty young, so we'll see. But I imagine, with a pretty penny like that, I could see why you might just go ahead and take the money and run.
Yep. Go ahead, take it and run.
Yeah. Because if you think about it, we also shared when Usher sold his portion of Bieber's catalog and how much money he got for that. So, yeah, I know that was a lot of money. All right. Yeah. This is a little interesting information for these ladies. Lady Gaga, Rihanna, and Taylor Swift have been nominated for Guild of Music Supervisors Awards. So specifically with Elvis and Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, they tied with 3 nominations each, including Best Music Supervision for Film budgeted over $25 million, Best Song Written and or recorded for a film, and Best Music Supervision in a trailer. So, kudos to them for that. You don't really hear about too many women in music supervision that often. They are there. So every now and then you come across a good article, but we rarely see that as publicized as often as we do with men in that position. So, I'm thrilled for them for getting those nominations. Hopefully they'll bring some wins home too.
Let's do it. Let's hope so. Yep. Let's fire it up and get it done. Get it going.
Yeah. And I'm excited for them because, little secret that I've never shared before, but I've always wanted to get into music supervision. It's my favorite thing about TV and films when the song matches the moments just perfectly. Oh, wonderful.
Wow. That's a new release, a hot release.
Yeah, a little tidbit. Behind the scenes about Achickwitbeatz. Yeah. Yep. All right, more music rights stories. So Primary Wave has bought the music rights of a couple of the members of The Doors in a monumental deal is what they're calling it. Usually when they just go ahead and say that means we're not telling you how much we paid. But according to them, it includes the interests of The Doors' music publishing catalog, recordings, trademarks, and merchandise rights and income, among other things. So with the among other things, I'd assume that that's a name, image, likeness deal as well. So, they've got some stuff going on here. We keep hearing, the economy is suffering, but have you noticed that these music companies have not stopped buying rights?
How about that?
Yeah, there's been some reports. So what I think we might have shared in the third quarter of last year about how they thought that things might be slowing down, but we've got these stories every week. So they're still buying it, which means that there's still money in music. So yeah. And we've talked about this before, that they don't just buy the new stuff. It's the evergreen stuff that they're buying, the stuff that's been kind of tried true. It's been around for a while. So it kind of makes you wonder, especially when you hear other artists kind of chasing trends for things that are popular and hot right now. It's not necessarily the best move if you want your catalog to be more valuable later. So it's kind of all about sticking to what you want to do and what you're being led to create, instead of chasing what's on the radio.
Absolutely. The chaser a lot of times comes in last. Yep. They can chase all they want to and still come in last.
Yeah.
So there's food for
All right. Warner Music Group's global catalog division bought Atlantic Records' catalog of prog rock legends Yes. So the agreement covers 12 full studio albums, includes some of the band's most iconic hits like Fragile, Close to the Edge, and more. And it also includes live recordings and compilations. So once again, they're still buying this stuff, and look at whose stuff they're buying. People with the longevity. So yeah.
And
a trend.
You gotta mention, I know that Lonely Heart song was in there.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Okay, now we learned something about Breezy, his favorite Yes song.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, and final story: Stanford Libraries has gotten major Black music collection to support their new department and expand their potential for research. So I do not know how to pronounce this name. I was actually going to try to cheat and ask Google about it before the show, but I didn't get around to it. But the Dijkstra, I believe, Black music collection includes over 8,000 vinyl records spanning the history of jazz, blues, reggae, and R&B. So the collection is going to be permanently housed at the Stanford Libraries as a part of its archive of recorded sound at the Music Library. So, this sounds like it's a huge thing that they've got going, and, hopefully a lot of people will be able to benefit from them receiving this collection. So 8,000 records. You can check the story out on my website. There's a picture of the husband of the couple that's actually donating their collection to them. And in that room, it's just gorgeous to see all those stacks of wax behind them. So yeah, you can check that out at achickwitbeatz.com on the Beats, Leaks, and Treats blog.
On the what blog?
Beats, Leaks, and Treats.
Okay.
Yep.
Treats. Oh boy, on achickwitbeatz.com. Yeah, do it.
As soon as you head to achickwitbeatz.com, look in that right-hand corner up there, tap that, and then you'll see the link for the blog.
You heard it first.
Okay. All right, we're going to take another pause for the cause, and then we'll be back.
Okay.
All right, and we're back. And, while we were pausing for our cause, Breezy shared some information that we just thought would be wonderful to share with everyone else as well, because I wasn't aware of this fact. So,
Well,
did you know?
the current there's a trend going on to block a lot of books, okay, and historical books.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, books that have a lot of value to a lot of different cultures. And I came across a photo last night, and it really it stung me to the floor. And the photo was a lot of folks are aware of the jazz singer Ella Fitzgerald. She was a real trailblazer, but she was an excellent singer. Global, she traveled around the world. People loved her music. She sang many different genres of music. She was invited to a lot of different places to perform at small events as well as huge events. And the photo that kind of rocked me that I saw last night was of her sitting in jail in her dress and coat. And the reason she was sitting in jail was because she was performing before an integrated audience. The listeners in the audience it was an integrated audience. And this was in 1953.
Wow.
In the United States. And there were powers that be at that time that felt that wasn't supposed to take place, so they promptly arrested her and took her straight to jail right off stage. Okay, therefore the photo was taken of her in the jail with her performing outfit on, which was a very elegant type of dress, and she had a very elegant type of coat, but it was against the law. Well, I don't know whether it was against the law or not, but somebody pulled the rope and pull the cord and say, hey, we don't want that. And they arrested her and put her in jail. So, there's a lot of things that have taken place. Maybe some still are. And, but, I just wanted to share the impact of seeing such an elegant person such as Ella Fitzgerald, who was arrested just for purely singing to an integrated audience in the United States in 1953. And man, I mean, that's a story. You can look it up. It's in the history. And but again, there's some folks who are trying to block history, and they don't want stories like that being shared or known or made aware of. And but they got a rocky road doing that, because there's a lot of people who are sharing a whole lot of history and will continue to. And that's a fact for today.
Yes, awesome. Thank you so much for providing that. Because it's important with what you said has been going on. It's important for us to actually use our platform to help continue to spread the education. So, we really thank you for sharing that valuable information that I was not aware of. And so thank you.
I will go as far as to share that photo on Instagram on my profile page, Breezy Gipson, and hopefully it can be shared and passed along to others so that they will know here's the actual scene of what happened to a singer, a well-known singer who never caused any trouble, and but simply for performing in front of an integrated audience, she ended up in jail.
Wow. Yeah, so thanks so much for sharing that. And you heard him. It'll be on his Instagram, so make sure that you check him out at Breezy Gipson. And when you find it and share it, make sure you actually use the share button. Don't just screenshot it. But do that. Spread the word, because knowledge is power, right?
That's right. And awareness, and hey, we got to keep knowledge and awareness rolling, not snuff it out, actually help spread it even more, the knowledge and the awareness. Yep.
Yeah. All right, and that does it for this week's edition of Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. Once again, we thank you, the listener, for tuning in. We thank our home stations, Grander Radio out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Sparks Radio out of Denver, Colorado. And, hey, this has just been a great time. I've enjoyed myself. I hope you all have too. How about you, Breezy?
Oh, yes. It's a real pleasure. It's a royal pleasure just being with the listeners and being able to reach out and touch and get feedback from them as well. Yes. So if you got any feedback, hit us up on Instagram at Music Marvels Radio Show on Instagram. Send us a message. Send us, to me, Breezy Gipson, on Instagram, Achickwitbeatz as well. Just give us some feedback sometimes, and it's mostly and truly really appreciated.
Yes, absolutely. And so, you know where to find us. Till next time, tune in, tell a friend. We'll see you then. Peace.
Peace.